Plaintiff Maya Jones says she met the defendant when she started dating Maya's son, who is with the defendant in court today. Maya claims she allowed the defendant to move into her home, but after her other children caught her son and the defendant having sex, she kicked the defendant out. Maya is suing for a cell phone bill, a termination fee, and emotional distress. Defendant Alicia Hartman says she grew up in the foster care system, but still graduated high school and went to college, which is where she met Maya's son. Alicia claims she looked at Maya as a mother figure and even called her mom, but she's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
I met the defendant during the summer. She started dating my son, which is present. At the time that I met the young lady, I thought that she would be a great match for my son. So I allowed her to move into my home. And my only one rule was no sex in my house. At that time, she broke it a couple of times and I asked her to move.
But her son didn't.
Maybe you didn't. What did you catch her doing?
Well, I never caught her in the act of self. I have other children that's in the home as well.
What did they see her doing?
From my understanding, having sex in my home.
With what? On who? With who?
With my son, Your Honor. I had the conversation with them prior to her moving in, and I expressed to both of them I didn't want them having sex in my house.
So what consequence did he suffer?
Well, when she moved out, he moved out with her.
Okay.
So there was no consequences.
What else you want to tell me about the defendant and or your son?
Pretty much, you know, I took her in as like one of my own children because I have several children. And so when I got a chance to actually get to know her well, I felt like she would be a great match for my son.
Right.
I thought that she was an honorable young lady. I really liked Alicia. I still do like Alicia.
All right. Let me hear from you. Give me some background.
Hi, Your Honor. Grew up in Detroit in the system. I was removed.
What system?
The foster care system. I was removed from my mom and I was placed into a family care.
How old?
I was 7. And as I grew up, you know, I graduated, went to college, came to Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Good.
And I didn't have anybody there, no family, no friends. So, you know, I gained family and friends throughout the time there. And a couple years later, I dated Eric, which is my boyfriend. And of course, dating him, I met his mother, who I thought was a very wonderful person. Like I said, I didn't have like that huge mother figure in my life. So I consider her my mom. I even called her mom. I felt like I was one of her children. And she gave me the chance to be on her line.
Ma'am, tell me about why you're suing her.
Well, at the time, the defendant actually fell into some hard times where she actually needed some help. And I told her about having an extra line that she could get so she would be able to contact with her mother because she's not from where we are. So that was the reason why I extended out and spoke to her about it. So she came to me and she stated at that time that she would like to get on my plan.
Was your son on there? Or?
Yes, my son is currently on it.
Go ahead.
And I got her on the plan and I explained to her what the bill was going to be monthly. And she agreed to it at that time. And as time progressed, she was having struggles with paying the bill on time and what I was asking for at the time of the payment. So it just really didn't work out with us because I felt like she was doing more spending than actually paying the bill.
And what happened and how much?
The bill was $130 a month. And in the beginning, she kind of started paying it. And then it was like not paying it at all, partial payments, which at that time had my phone be shut off more than one time. And each time that would get shut off, I would call her and express to her that, you know, well, my phone bill is getting cut off because you're not paying your portion of the bill. And at that point, you know, she would make another payment arrangement on the bill, which I would have to follow suit and try to pay to keep it on. And she just couldn't keep it up. Okay,
so how do we get to the amount and what is the amount for the phone bill?
Well, the phone bill for 3 months she didn't pay at all, which was the $130 a month for 3 months. That was April, May, and June, totaling $390. Then the disconnect fee, I would like for her to be able to just shut it off completely altogether, which is the $350 that I'm asking, and then $600 for emotional distress.
How does she cause you emotional distress?
Every month I was calling Sprint trying to make payment arrangements. I have a large family, Your Honor, and each month that I was behind, they would shut off my phone.
Well, I wish I could sue the people who owe me for emotional distress. Go ahead. You tell me about this, ma'am.
Your Honor, I have documents of payment from April to, not June, but April through
April,
May.
May, and June
Yes.
is what we're referring to.
And it's totaling $330, which she said that I owed $390. So it's totaling $330.
Let's see it, please. This is...
Here's all of my bank statements as well.
All right.
That's
So
as well.
you say that to say you paid all except for...
$60, sir.
$60. All right. Ma'am, she shows me receipts where she paid April, May, and June. But not all of it, it appears, like she says. Do you have the bills?
Yes, sir, I do.
And the ones you're about to present me, are they for the number that she was using?
Yes, sir, it is.
How do you think the contradiction occurred?
You mean, sir, of owing
She's
them?
going to show me, she says, where it wasn't paid.
Yeah, sir, I have no idea.
All right, I guess you have to wait until she shows me, right? And termination fee, why wouldn't you think you needed to pay that if you were short $60 or otherwise? You still didn't pay it all, and therefore she has a right to have it turned off. And you breached the contract by not paying all of it, even though it was only $60.
Well, sir, at that moment, after June, my phone, when I moved out, I wasn't in place of my phone. I didn't have the phone in my person.
Who had it?
The plaintiff.
So you weren't using it as of June. In fact, you gave it back to her.
I didn't give the phone back to her. I left the phone in her house by accident, and I haven't had it. I didn't even know where it was.
All right, and she decided that since you breached the contract, she was going to keep it, I assume. And the early termination fee came from your failure to pay it off, even though you say it's only $60. What do you have there, ma'am, showing who it was paid by or whether it was paid? No, you pull them out. You take that 100 pages and you go through them. How does she owe you? What's your counterclaim for?
Yes, sir. During the months of April, May, and June, I would pay the bills. I would pay my phone bill. Sometimes if I didn't pay the phone bill, my line would be the first one off, even though she has 5 or 6 people on her line.
Those are her kids.
Exactly.
Well.
And who didn't pay,
You
but
see,
my...
he's sitting there, she said nothing about him or to him. That's her son, she doesn't want to. She could say, my son didn't help her out and he should have. That's his girlfriend, they live together. Or when they were together living with me, he should have been helping her and he hasn't, so he's no good either, Judge. She treating him like he's an angel. So unfortunately, that's what you're dealing with here.
And during the times of the payments, like only me and one of her daughters made payments, and I would always make payments. And if I couldn't, I would try to make up a payment plan. But my phone would be the first one to be cut off.
So that's primarily why you want to sue for emotional distress, is because she kind of targeted you?
Yeah, and I would be technically the first person she would target, even though I was making payments on them.
But you didn't pay in full. And sometimes you were late. So she had a right to target whoever she wanted to first. And unfortunately, she chose to do so with you. Do you have any other evidence there?
I just have that, and I have text messages.
Okay, what do the text messages indicate? Let's see them, please, Doyle.
Yeah, basically, with the text messages, it was more of a badgering of getting the $400. I was never told about this early termination fee, and then she randomly came up to me like saying that, give me this $400 or I will take you to court. I need my money now, girl. I don't want payments or things
Now,
like
what's
that.
the $400, ma'am?
There was a cell phone bill case that she charged to my bill at the time that she actually purchased the phone that she never paid.
That's not part of this lawsuit today?
Yeah, that's it. That's a part of, that was the $400, that was what it was about.
And you say you paid all the other bills short of the $60.
Exactly, sir.
All right. And indeed, that's all she was asking for is $400. And she said she would take you to court for the $400. And so, ma'am, that's what I'm going to grant you, the $400 that you said you would take her to court for. She shows evidence that she paid everything short of the $60 which she's claiming today. Did you finish college? You still there?
I'm still working on it.
Good. All right. You in college? Good. Yeah, good luck of giving her and your son a break. These two young college students trying to make it. I understand you don't want them to mess your credit or your money up. However, the evidence I have, the last monies you were asking for and threatening to take her to court for was $400. She admits to owing $60 more, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll grant you that $460. The emotional distress, I'm going to deny. Emotional distress is granted when someone has acted in an extreme and outrageous way that is rarely seen. This isn't extreme, outrageous, or rare. It's very normal for people to not pay their bills. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $460. Good luck to both of you.
Don't truthfully have much to really say about it. I think it could have been handled a lot differently instead of having to come on the stage. If y'all saw it, y'all saw it the way y'all needed to, so, hey.
Well, I feel like we shouldn't have had to come to court. You know, you are supposed to be a stand-up young man. I'm your mother. I'm not a friend, you know what I'm saying? And if you know somebody owes me, then you should make sure that I get my payments. It's nothing personal. I have too many kids to take care of as it is. For somebody to stress me out about a bill and you had knowledge of it versus saying, well, you know, you should pay my mom. It's my mom.
Well, Mom?
I treated you as a mother, didn't I? Okay, so I don't understand that.
Well, Mom, if you was to sit up there and listen to what I had to say in the first place, we wouldn't have to be here.
Well, I'm glad we came.